constant groping of things unknown, drawing from the endless reaches of time, brings to light many startling things. Startling because they seem new, sudden. But most are not new to the science of the ages. Life has begun. People, all going somewhere. Pull the string. Dance to that. Which one is created for? A new life is begun. A life is ended.
Let me see that note.
The records will tell the story. I was put in jail recently. Why? Because I, a man, was caught on the street wearing women's clothing. This was my 4th arrest for the same act. In life, I must continue wearing them. Therefore, it would only be a matter of time until my next arrest. This is the only way. Let my body rest in death forever in the things I cannot wear in life.
Inspector? Doctor? Sit down. Thank you. This type of case comes to me as well as yourself many times during the course of 1 month.
The suicide?
The suicide.
Most of us have our idiosyncrasies.
I think in the case that we're referring to, I need advice. Maybe it shouldn't have happened as it did.
Let's get our story straight. You're referring to the suicide of the transvestite?
Yes.
Those whose sex can be changed, they're the easy ones. But what of those who so desperately want to be of the opposite sex, yet can't change their sex? Such as was the case with Patricia, the suicide.
I'd like to understand this, Doctor, as best you can tell me.
Only the infinity of the depths of a man's mind can really tell the story.
The story is begun.
One might say, there, but for the grace of God, go I. Once, not so very long ago, the people of the world were saying,
airplanes. Why, it's against the Creator's will.
Maybe some of you may still remember an even sillier remark.
Automobiles? Bad. They scare the horses.
Strangely enough, nature has given us all these things. We just had to learn how to put nature's elements together for our use, that's all. Yet, the world is shocked by a sex change.
If the Creator had wanted us to fly, he'd have given us wings.
If the Creator had meant us to be born girls, we certainly would have been born girls.
Are we sure? This person is a transvestite, a man who is more comfortable wearing girls' clothes. Give this man satin undies, a dress, a sweater, and a skirt, or even the lounging outfit he has on, and he's the happiest individual in the world. He can work better, think better, he can play better, and he can be more of a credit to his community and his government because he is happy. Glen is engaged to be married to Barbara, a lovely, intelligent girl.
Those fingernails have got to go.
We'll trim them.
That's for sure. It's been a long year.
For both of us.
But now, my studies are through, college is concluded, and I'm free at last.
Free? For the time being.
Huh? Oh. How about joining me for an after-dinner drink?
The living room?
Mm-hmm.
What does modern man have to look forward to for his body comfort? And get the hat. Better still, get the receding hairline. Men's hats are so tight they cut off the blood flow to the head, thus cutting off the growth of hair. When modern woman's day of work is done, that which is designed for her home comfort is comfort. Hats that give no obstruction to the blood flow. Hats that do not crush the hair. Interesting thought, isn't it? Just for comparison, let's go native, back to the animal instinct. There, in the lesser civilized part of the world, it's the male who adorns himself with the fancy objects, such as paints, frills, and masks. The true instinct, the animal instinct, bird and animal life. Is it not so that it's the male who is the fancy one? Could it be that the male was meant to attract the attention of the female? What's so wrong about that? Little Miss Female, you should feel quite proud of the situation. What is it that would happen were this individual to appear this way on the street? You're doing it now, laughing. Yet, it's not a situation to be laughed at.
I wish I had the sight into such things to be able to advise you, Sheila. Maybe if you took the problem to a doctor.
It's Glen that needs the doctor. Suppose I were to come home with Roy or one of my other boyfriends some night and find Glen like I did last night.
Yeah, that would be hard to explain.
Glen is a transvestite, but he is not a homosexual.
I can't stand it any longer. Nothing is sacred to him, even my briefs.
He has every one of my sweaters stretched out of shape. Of course, he has always replaced them. But then, they didn't last long either. But, Your Honor, ruffles on his shirts and shorts. Really?
Glen is engaged to be married to Barbara, a lovely, intelligent girl. The problem? Glenda, Glen's other self.
Have you seen the paper yet?
No, why?
Isn't that a strange case? I wonder how some people's mind works.
Well, some people aren't happy the way they are.
That's a pretty drastic step to take. I wonder what I would do in a case like that if I were in the mental turmoil that person went through. Or if I suddenly realized that something was mentally wrong with you. Ooh, it's hard to visualize. Here we are, two perfectly normal people, got to be married and lead a normal life together.
Hold the string! Hold the string!
Can I help you, sir?
Yeah. Let me see a nightie.
Well, we have this here. Would you like that? Something like this? Has lace?
Yeah.
Perhaps he admires the material too long.
You can see how sheer the material really is.
Yes.
You see, it's all pure nylon and only $21.95. And of course, it will never snag.
What's up?
Nothing much.
Say, you really look down in the dumps.
I guess I got a problem.
Haven't we all?
I want to get married.
You have a problem. When did this all come about?
I thought I could stop wearing these things. I tried, honestly, I tried. I really love her.
Okay. Here's a story from fact.
Johnny tells his story. He had not too long ago been married himself. He had kept quiet about his transvestite desires in the hopes that the new wife would never discover it. However, one day, the little woman came home unexpectedly an hour early.
Will your problem be like mine? Most probably it will.
Beware, beware, beware of the big green dragon that sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys, puppy ducktails, and big fat snails. Beware, take care, beware. Tell me, dragon, do you eat little boys, puppy ducktails, and big fat snails?
Puppy dog tail, puppy dog tail, puppy dog tail. Everything nice, everything nice. Ha ha ha, puppy dog tail.
Beware of the big green dragon that sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys, puppy dog tails, and big fat snails. Beware, take care. Beware.
I wanted to tell you for a long, long time, but just couldn't bring myself to do it. I've been too much afraid of losing you.
Glen, I don't fully understand this, but maybe together we can work it out.
Is that the end of the story?
Not quite. I'll get back to it in a minute.
What about their children, Doctor? Would their children become the same way their father is?
No. Transvestism is not hereditary.
Are any of them actually cured?
Oh, yes, many, many of them. Once the source of supply is found, it can be stopped, unless the patient refuses to cut off that source of supply. But to enlighten you a little further, there's the second story, that of an extremely advanced case. Let's call this person Alan, Ann. Alan had a mother who wanted a little girl. The father didn't care much one way or the other. He enjoyed doing the woman's work around the house. Alan was becoming a woman and didn't realize it. Then came the fateful year of 1941. Alan was drafted. Then, as quickly as it had begun, the war was over. Alan came home. It had been found that Alan was really a pseudo-hermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite is one who has the organs of both the male and female in plain sight. A pseudo-hermaphrodite is one who has one perfectly formed organ of either sex and one imperfectly formed one that's difficult to detect. Alan was of the latter. Alan was then given his choice. That which nature had given him was a mistake. Small boned, fair of complexion, his hair thin like a woman's, his body slim, hips slightly girlish. It was easy to see his decision, along with the fact that he had been brought up from early childhood to believe that a woman was the thing to be. Alan decided to become a woman. Hundreds of hormone shots were injected into various parts of his body. Alan's face was worked on with plastic surgery to smooth out the female elements. First, the breasts are brought out. The body of the woman within begins to appear now. Then comes the major surgery, the removal of the man and the formation of the woman. But in time, Alan is Anne, a very happy, lovely young lady that modern medicine and science has created almost as a Frankenstein monster. The newspapers heard of it and hit the story with their usual fullness. Alan had all his life acted the part of the woman. Now he is that woman and must learn how it's done. Anne must learn how to do her own hair. The proper walk must be adopted. A lady is a lady, whatever the case may be. Continuing my own psychiatric treatment, it was my duty now to explain to Anne the duty of a woman and her. Alan, of course, had known the man's, but he was soon to realize he knew very little about a woman's. Yet, through it all, Anne loved every minute of it. Anne was indeed meant to be a woman, and now that the sex change had been completed, Anne was a very happy woman.
Then you believe that the Glen of the first story should have the sex change?
In Glen's case, no. No, indeed. Glen would never be happy with a sex change. I told him the same story of Alan, Anne, as I've told it to you, Inspector. Anne was a pseudo-hermaphrodite. In all our talks, I've learned these pertinent facts. Glen's father had no love for his son. Glen, you can kill this fictitious character of yours anytime you wish. For your happy ending, it's the only way.
Then you think I can kill this second character by transferring her qualities to Barbara?
Exactly.
Should I let him continue to wear girls' clothing? Or should I put my foot down?
If you put your foot down, he'd only go behind closed doors. Love is the only answer. Glenda must be transferred to you.
Supposing Glen never gets over wearing girls' clothing.
Would it matter to you very much?
I love Glen. I'll do everything I can to make him happy.
The end is only the beginning. Time passes. Soon, due to a happily married life, the remembrance of the psychiatric treatments, and Barbara's love and understanding, Glenda begins to disappear forever from Glen. Glen has found his mother, his little sister, his wife, and his Glenda, all in one lovely package. Thus, Glen's case has a happy conclusion.
But what of the hundreds of other less fortunate Glens the world over?
Yes. But what of the others? Less fortunate Glens the world over. Oh, snips and snails and puppy duck tails.